Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Our first weekend of August. Got a lot of fun stuff for our scoop of the day and our second scoop. And take a listen to this. Archaeologists digging at the site of the Wright brothers' home in Dayton, Ohio, have uncovered a button, 2 nails, and some broken china that may have belonged to them.
Okay.
They don't know for sure who it belonged to, so they found some stuff there, and they're like, hey, this could have belonged to the Wright brothers. So someday maybe they'll be talking about that, 100 years from now. They'll be saying,
so stupid. Who cares?
we were looking at the site that John and Heidi lived at, and we found a bunch of beer bottles that we think might have belonged to Heidi. Hey, a 40-year-old British man entered the record books by becoming the first person to run around the world. Guess how long it took to run around the world?
I have no idea.
5 years, 8 months. It's a whole lot of running.
Seems like it would take longer than that.
To run around the world?
Around the whole world?
I don't know. I'm not impressed. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty impressed. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, I thought you'd never ask. I'll tell you about a whole darn weekend. Saturday, August the 6th is Hiroshima Day or Hiroshima Day, depending on how you say it. International Hangover Day. Yesterday was International Beer Day, so I think that's why that worked out that way. Mead Day, National Fresh Breath Day, National Jamaican Patty Day, don't know what that is, National Mustard Day, National Root Beer Float Day, and Sandcastle Day. Then we get to Sunday, August the 7th, Friendship Day, Lighthouse Day, National Doll Day, National Kids Day, Sisters Day, particularly Preposterous Packaging Day. I don't know what that means. Professional Speakers Day. I is one. And it's Purple Heart Day on Sunday as well. So
Purple Heart Day.
There you go. There are a lot of things going on this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business. If it's done right, you can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time, too. You decide when the messages are sent, and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. You have the right to remain silent. College students protesting is nothing new, but students protesting nothing, now that is new. Students at the Plymouth University in the United Kingdom held a silent demonstration about nothing. Protesters carried blank white banners, remained in complete silence during the protest. Organizers of this event, one of them is named Gwen Wick, said, "There's really no such thing as nothing, for nothing is the absence of something." I think they just had a weekend to kill. I'm not sure. I got nothing going on. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't want to do anything. There's an idea. Let's do nothing. They were protesting nothing by walking around with blank signs.
Whatever.
And saying nothing.
I would not get along with those people.
I don't. There's... At first blush, I thought it was the dumbest thing ever, but there's a bit of brilliance.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
There's a bit of brilliance in the midst of this because I wonder if they had other people stop by and join them, and they're like, "What are you guys protesting?" We're like, "Protesting nothing. Would you like a sign?" "Yeah, I want a sign. Sign me up. I'm mad about nothing too." Sounds like something that they would do on the Impractical Jokers. There was an episode of that where they had to protest, and it was just the dumbest things. They would write signs for them. If you've not seen the Impractical Jokers, you don't know what I'm talking about. But 4 very funny guys, one of our favorite programs, and they put each other up to these dumb tasks, and then you get to watch on video as they usually crash and burn. But there was one where they were protesting. Remember that? Mm-hmm. They had the picket lines.
They've done that a lot.
So this sounds like something they could do. You guys could try to protest.
Who knows? It might have been them.
No, it wasn't, because this happened over in England, and it was Gwen Wick that was in charge of it.
They were
was
just
an organizer.
in England.
But they were students at Plymouth University, so it was not them. But could have been. Anyway, you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. When robbing a liquor store, make sure you're not drunk. Just, they're throwing that out there. Proving once again there's no intelligence test to become a criminal. In Los Angeles, a gunman demanded some cash and a bottle of gin from a clerk at a liquor store. The clerk said, "I can't give you the liquor until you prove that you're at least old enough to have it. If I give it to you, I'll get in trouble." So the robber, of course, was drunk as a skunk at the time, handed over his driver's license. The clerk made sure to memorize the name and address, and it said, "Okay, wow, yeah, you are old enough. So here you go. Here's your gin. Thanks for robbing
talked
us.
about this.
Come again." I don't think this is the same one.
Okay.
This one's in Los Angeles.
It's always a different one, but it's the exact same.
Same story, but a
Always.
different story. Yeah. I'll let you start getting things. So from now on, Heidi will be reading the stories, and I'll be sitting around making the witty comments. So this happened in Los Angeles, and a pretty quick-witted dude right there to think to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
there you go. Just like the last guy was.
Just like the same guy was last time we told this story.
All right, thanks. The internet's only so big, Heidi. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
A mugging victim gives the crooks a run for their money, or should I say a run for her money. We have two individuals here today in our moment of duh, and they're boneheads that snatched the purse of Pamela McCarthy, took off running down the street. What they didn't know about Pamela, she's a marathon runner.
Ah, yeah.
She chased them for over a mile. They were getting tired. She was just having fun at this point. They finally ran into their own apartment. Then she called the police. They came over and retrieved her purse and arrested these two knuckleheads. They're not quite ready for a marathon yet, it doesn't sound like. But she certainly is.
Good for her.
So that'd be kind of cool.
She's lucky they didn't have a weapon of some kind.
Oh,
where
no
they were,
kidding.
Yeah,
that's very, very fortunate for her. So, yeah, they stole the wrong purse. Marathon runner chased them all the way home. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way on This Weekend.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. In the news, on pretty much every channel you flip through, there's this thing called an election. I have some news about the election as well, but it's not the 2016 election. Believe it or not, it's the 2020 election. We keep starting these things earlier and earlier. The 2020 election has already started, Heidi.
Are you kidding?
Voters-
Whatever. How would they even know how to
listen to
get
this.
started on that?
Voters haven't even cast their ballots for this election yet. And there's some conservatives that are quietly eyeing the 2020 White House bid. One of them, who's not too quiet about it, or we wouldn't know, is Senator Tom Cotton. The Arkansas Republican addressed the Iowa delegation about a week ago, and it's the second of three planned meetings with early voting state delegates ahead of a possible White House bid for 2020. I'm guessing he's not endorsing Trump. He's like, I'm going to run. When he doesn't win, I'm going to run for 2020. Well, good luck to you there, Mr. Cotton. Hey, two bulls escaped from a slaughterhouse in Baltimore and had a few hours of freedom before they were corralled about a block from where they were initially spotted. The bulls found their way out of the Old Line Custom Meat Company. It's a slaughterhouse there. And they wandered about a block away before employees from the processing plant and police had a chance to get them sectioned off and contained. These bulls were like, I know what's
I'm
going
not sticking around here.
I know what's going to happen in there. It's not going to be good. I'm leaving. All right, Pokemon Go has been in the news. Have we talked about this enough, do you think?
I think everybody has talked about this enough.
It's
I'm
everywhere.
so sick of hearing about
it nearly caused an international incident last week. A couple of Canadian teenagers were apprehended by U.S. Border Patrol agents when they inadvertently and illegally crossed the U.S.-Canadian border while playing this location-based game on their phone. Agents encountered the teens walking southbound from a Canadian province of Alberta, and they walked into Montana while playing Pokemon Go. I'm just thinking, if you were from a different country and wanted to sneak into our country, wouldn't that be the greatest way? Hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, I'm sorry, we're just playing Pokemon Go. Where are we? Are you serious? We're in America? I didn't know that. Hey, a cold and exhausted 65-year-old Russian balloonist came back to Earth while bruising with a bruising thud, in the Australian outback Saturday. So this is like a week ago. After claiming a record by flying solo around the world nonstop for 11 days. A Russian Orthodox priest, Fedor I'm not even going to try it, broke American businessman Steve Fawcett's 2002 record by more than 48 hours.
Huh.
So 2 people that went around the world. One ran around the world. We talked about him earlier. This dude went on a balloon around the world. He's a 65-year-old Russian former Orthodox priest. So there you go. And he did it in how long? What did he say? It took 11 days to get around the world on a balloon. 5 years to run around the world. So I'm going to go the balloon route. That's a whole lot quicker.
I wouldn't do either.
Yeah, probably not. Video cassette recorder that revolutionized home entertainment will officially die later this month after a decade-long battle with people just not using it. It's completely obsolete. The VCR is roughly 60 years old. I would have never guessed that.
That makes me sad.
When I was a kid, I thought they were brand new, but they've been around for 60 years. Japanese-based Funi Electronics has continued to manufacture the machines even as several generations of better technology have come to market. Executives say the lack of demand and difficulty acquiring parts has convinced them to finally cease production, and they are going to be done with the VCR.
That really kind of makes me sad.
It does kind of make me sad as well. But you know what? I think it was probably time for him to go. We still have a VCR. We may be the only household in the neighborhood that has one, but we only have a few VCR tapes, VHS
They're all
tapes.
home movies.
Yeah,
so
and that's where we get to transfer those, and then maybe we can get rid of our VCR one of these days as well. We have one that we watch every year, and that's our anniversary video. We watch that every year, so we'll have to do something. One of these days, we're not going to be able to watch it. So
yeah.
VCR is dead. No, I finally got the memo on that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got your second scoop on the way.
John and Heidi.
Whether you're following the election or not, you understand that it impacts you. And this will be a historic election. The mainstream media has their own spin on who's going to win, but PoliticalStorm.com lets you chime in. You can keep yelling at the TV if you want. See how that works out. Or truly voice your opinion and have it heard at PoliticalStorm.com. Be informed from several different sources all in one place. Watch videos, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials to engage your brain. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. In the lush hills of northern Thailand, a herd of 20 elephants is excreting some of the world's most expensive coffee. Oh, this is disgusting. Trumpeted as the earthly in flavor and smooth on the palate, the exotic new brew is made from beans eaten by elephants in Thailand and then plucked the next day from their
feces.
Poop.
Yeah.
Elephant poop coffee. A gut reaction inside the elephant creates what the founders call the coffee's unique taste. Stomach turning or oddly alluring, this is not just one of the world's most unusual specialty coffees. It's also one of the most expensive. Guess how much it is?
How much?
$500 a pound.
Whoa.
It's $1,100 per kilogram.
I suppose, because if you had to sit around all day plucking beans out of elephant poop, wouldn't you want to be paid well for
the
it?
dude doing that probably doesn't make much. That's really sad. Anyway.
Wasn't that in that movie?
That was Monkey. That was on a bucket list, but yeah, that was
bucket list.
But it wasn't the same coffee. I think that was from monkey poop, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just know it was from poop.
Anyway, it says the wealthy and well-traveled have access to this stuff, which they call, by the way, black ivory coffee. So if you're wondering why coffee is so expensive and you're going, oh, it's really expensive, we should try it. Don't try it.
It probably tastes like
You can't say that on the radio. Sorry. Oh, Heidi. It's been in a few luxury hotels with a price tag of about $50 a serving. Why elephants, you might ask? Well, it's because elephants eat coffee, and their stomach acid breaks down the protein found in the coffee, which is a key factor in the bitterness. Blake Dinkin, who spent $300,000 developing this coffee, $300,000, says you end up with a cup that is very smooth without the bitterness of regular coffee. You know how else you can do that? Put some cream in it. that also takes care of the bitterness. For those of you who don't want to spend, I don't know, $500 a pound and eat or drink elephant dung coffee, splash in a little bit of creamer and you'll be just fine. All right, kids who have their tonsils removed seem to gain weight after the surgery and may be more likely to become overweight compared to children who never went under the knife, according to a new study. recently published in February of the, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. We'll see how I do.
All right.
Otolarnergy. Ology. Anyway, pretty sure I got that wrong. Anyway, it's in the Head, Neck, and Surgery Scientist magazine. And they reviewed data from 9 different studies spanning over a 40-year period before arriving at their conclusion. The Otolarnergy magazine says, did I get it that time, you think? Probably not.
I think a lot of that is because the kids have to have their tonsils out. It all of a sudden doesn't hurt them to eat, and they can taste things
like,
better.
Hey, things are good. Did you have your tonsils out?
Yes, I did.
I did not. I weigh more than you. So, study proven wrong. Move on. Offering downsized meal portions, in addition to normal ones at cafeterias, may help some people cut their calorie intake. This is from Dutch researchers. They say smaller portions could work in other settings, too. It might help curb obesity, although it's too soon to know if people compensate by eating more the rest of the day. The report, published in the International Journal of Obesity, see, I can even read all of that. They say it's the first to look at how people's eating behaviors change if smaller meals are made more easily available, both with and without corresponding price cuts. So they've done some where they say, we're going to give you half as much food, and it's going to cost the same amount. And they've done others where they say, we're going to give you half as much food, and it's going to cost you a little bit less. Or who knows, maybe even a little more. I have no idea how that works. But they're checking into that, and they're saying that downsized meal portions may help you cut your calorie intake. Do you think that's the case? Do you think they're serving us too much food at places, and that's why we're eating too much?
Yeah.
You know, I think there are some restaurants that have it just right. I think there's some where it's getting ridiculous how big those things are getting.
Yeah.
You order I'm like, I have one of those things, and they bring it out. You're like, that's all for me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I must look really hungry.
We were at a place with friends here not too long ago, and they brought out a dessert.
Yeah.
All 4 of us ate.
And we didn't even finish it. There were 4 of us.
It was left on the table.
And we couldn't finish it. I was like, it was really good. And I was like, that was delicious. But are you kidding me? Were you expecting more people? And our final story for our bonus scoop. Are you suffering from feedback fatigue? Feedback fatigue is caused by too many email requests from companies asking you to rate their services. If you did any holiday shopping online, you are most likely the people that are getting these emails. Here's the one that drives me nuts. I get emails like that, and I don't shop online. I have a company that keeps asking me because I use Constant Contact. I use that service.
Right.
I don't know. This other third-party company keeps asking me, how do you like Constant Contact? Please rate them. I'm like, I like it, but I'm not doing your survey because I filled out their stupid survey for a different program I use, and that's how I got on their list. I get emails like 5 times a month.
I don't fill those things out.
I've even clicked unsubscribe. Time for you guys to go away. Hey, it's time for us to go away as well. Stick around, though. We've got more on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first telephone answering machine was invented in 1904.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have them when I was a little kid. I remember when they first came out. So apparently it just didn't catch on until late last century. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1899, a New York City taxi cab driver was the first person to get a traffic ticket for speeding.
Really?
Why does that not surprise me? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Einstein failed his very first college entrance exam. Yeah, way to go, Einstein. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Henry Ford forgot to put a reverse gear in his very first car. So the first car that he did. Like,
he couldn't go backwards.
Hope you don't want to back up. And our final fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Penguins have more feathers per square inch than any other bird in the world. And I'll bet that's so they can stay a little bit warmer.
I guess I didn't even know that was feathers that's on them. It looks so.
Oh yeah.
It looks almost like a seal, like a
slick,
and
they're just tiny little feathers, and they're
Well,
they're
that's
wet all the
interesting.
time.
I did
there
not
you
know
go.
that.
Now you know.
Now I know.
These have been a couple of fun facts for this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business. If it's done right, you can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time, too. You decide when the messages are sent, and you decide what is being said, so you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. I've got things children should hear. So if you have children, pay attention to this one. You are amazing. You should hear that if you're a child. And if you have a child, you should say that to your child. It says, I look at you with wonder, not just at what you can do, but who you are. There's no one like you. No one. What are you smiling about over there?
That is lame.
You don't like this advice?
To go on and on like that?
You're amazing.
No, I just look at you with wonder.
I do. Heidi, I look at you.
Should there be music playing in the
with wonder.
background when you're having this conversation?
Yeah, I think so.
I have told my kids they're amazing, but I don't go on and on. Oh,
it's usually after they bring you a beer, though. So you are amazing. You did what Dad wouldn't do. Yeah, because I think you've had too much. Number 9, you've made a mistake. That was wrong. You need to let your kids know when they do things wrong. Number 8, you did the right thing. That was scary or hard. Even though it wasn't easy, you did it, and I'm proud of you. You should be too. Number 7, tell me about it. I'd like to hear more. And then just listen. I'm right here. I won't leave you without saying goodbye. I'm watching you. I'm listening to you. Number 5, please and thank you. These are, again, all things that kids should hear. They should hear these coming out of you so that it'll be naturally coming out of them, the please and thank yous. Another one, I missed you. And I think about you when we're not together. Number 3, I have a surprise for you, even when it's not their birthday. Do something nice once in a while. Number 2, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. I say that a lot, but usually it's to you. And the number 1 thing on the list that kids should hear from their mamas and papas, what do you think it is?
I love you.
I love you too, but what do you think's on the list?
I think it's I love you.
You are right. It says there's nothing that will make me stop loving you. Nothing you can do or say that will ever change that. I love you. So make sure you tell that to your kiddos. And kiddos, even if mom and dad don't say that, they do mean it. They do love you. You know, there's some people that's really hard for them to say. I don't know why. It's not. It shouldn't be. If you're too tough to say I love you, don't be too tough to say I love you.
Yeah, my dad grew up in a house where they didn't say that
say
a lot.
So we say it to him all the time.
Yeah.
So and that's important because you got to say that. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're in business, you need a website. Come on, it's 2016. Do you think this internet thing is not going to catch on? Many business owners that don't have a website think it's just too expensive. Well, now it's not. You can get a website for a few $100s, not thousands of dollars that are charged elsewhere. We can help you set up and design the site and then turn you loose to manage it, or we can help you manage the site for just a tiny bit more. Learn about this special radio offer right now at radiosavings.com. Get an extra $50 off if you sign up this month at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Looks like they were right, Heidi. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, at least according to this study. Don't they say, like...
all the time.
Yeah, I keep changing mine.
Insane.
But they're saying skip the cold cereal. Eating eggs and bacon in the morning can help you control your hunger later in the day. I like the sounds of that. Indiana University scientists determined that dieters who consumed their biggest dose of daily protein at breakfast felt fuller longer than those who ate more of their nutrients at lunch or dinner. The upshot, they were less likely to overeat the rest of the day. Well, that probably doesn't work for me. I have a big breakfast and a big lunch and a big dinner and a bunch of snacks between. That's probably my problem. Study author Heather Lidley, PhD, says, to fend off hunger, shoot for at least 20 to 30 grams of protein for breakfast. This was in Men's Health, so that's not where I read it because I'm not reading Men's Health. What are you smirking about over there?
I can't focus on anything that you're saying at all when I look at you because on your white shirt here you
get coffee stains?
You've got a big coffee stain.
Yeah.
Looks like you're lactating chocolate milk.
I'm not. No, I went to drink some coffee and I missed. It was way fuller than I thought it was. So, whoops. Maybe next time I need to put in a little less coffee. That's probably what I got to do. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for joining us this weekend. If your kids are talking nonstop about Pokemon Go, first of all, I feel pretty fortunate that our kids really are not into that.
No, not at all.
Our son's not into it, our daughter's not into that. But I know there are a lot of people that are. It says half of those of you who are on Facebook talking about Pokemon Go, there are a lot of adults on there that think that there's something wrong with it. They think that it's like evil. And then
no,
there's
I don't think it's evil. I just think it's lame.
others that just roll their eyes and say it's not a big deal. Well, Focus on the Family is coming to the rescue. They have a thing from their president, Jim Daly. He released a report on Pokemon Go titled, What Parents Need to Know. So I have a link to that on our Facebook page. If that's something that's concerning you, if you're going, our kids are spending way too much time with this, go through and read the thing if that's something that is concerning you. Here's the thing. I think, the concept was a good concept. Because the whole concept was we're going to get kids out walking around the neighborhood and you're going to be active again. I think that's cool, but somehow it just became this huge obsession. There was a video that I watched about this guy. He was like probably in his 20s or 30s, a fairly big guy, bigger than me even, which I'm a big guy. And he had spent like $1,200 on getting Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I saw a thing posted on Facebook where it was a sign that some employer had posted on their door, and it said, "For crying out loud, if you leave this building to catch a Pokemon, you will be terminated. I am embarrassed for the entire human race to even have to post this."
That's funny. Oh, anyway, I'm not hung up on this. The reason I keep reading stories about it, because I had somebody that said, "Are you into that? I hear you talking about it a lot." No, it's because every site that I go to get news and information,
it's on there.
That's the top story. I'm only reading about 10% of the stuff that I'm finding. So anyway, we've got some good news coming your way. And I've got, for those of you who have lunch boxes in the house, holy cow, guess what some of these things are worth? We're going to chat about that in just a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Whether you're following the election or not, you understand that it impacts you. And this will be a historic election. The mainstream media has their own spin on who's going to win, but PoliticalStorm.com lets you chime in. You can keep yelling at the TV if you want. See how that works out. Or truly voice your opinion and have it heard at PoliticalStorm.com. Be informed from several different sources all in one place. Watch videos, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials to engage your brain. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. When you were a kid, did you have a lunchbox?
Yes.
What was on your lunchbox? Anything in particular?
I think, well, I've had several, but I had a Barbie one at one point, and right now I have a Muppets lunchbox.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
A 1954 Superman lunchbox broke records selling for $11,500 at auction. Most vintage boxes don't score quite that high, but if they're in mint condition, they can certainly hold their value.
And if they still have the little thermos.
Yeah, that's really important to keep that thing, too. So if you want to, get some cold, hard cash from your attic, check around and see if you've got a Mickey Mouse lunchbox. 1954 Mickey Mouse lunchbox, $535. Marvel Superheroes from 1976 sold for $410. Star Wars, the 1977 original lunchbox, over $300. Clash of the Titans from 83 sold for $335.
My brother loved that movie.
And
did you watch that movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, my brother watched that over and over and over
And then there's one called Stars and Stripes from 1970 that sold for over $300 as well. So if you got some lunch boxes just sitting around, maybe you go check those out and make some cash. Cha-ching! I'm going to search and see how much I can sell your Muppets box
No,
for.
you're not.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty cool news. The Purpose Hotel. It's on its way to becoming a reality And you can help, I think. I don't know if this is done yet or not, but it's the concept of Jerry Cowart. It's a Kickstarter project now with a goal of raising $2 million. Jerry's idea is to build an entire hotel chain where you can change the world while you sleep. He says, imagine not just a hotel, but a global hotel chain where every time you book a room, a child gets sponsored. The internet fee fights human trafficking. Every product purchased from the partners who make a difference, they would all every single thing that you buy in the hotel would go to a partner that makes a difference. Their Kickstarter has already raised more than $200,000. I'll throw a link on our page and see if you're interested in checking that out. But that's kind of a cool idea.
That is a cool idea.
Here's the thing that I would say to Jerry: why not? And this is just me. Why not approach somebody that already has the network in place and say, we want to have this as an available option. For an extra X number of dollars, you can have all of this money go towards this. Then you don't have the expense of building all these hotels.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make more sense to go to a giant chain and say, this is something that we want to do rather than competing with you? We'd like to work with you and have this as an option. And then we won't build one next door. Instead, they'll stay here. And it would only be if they choose this option. Because if you're going to do this, I guarantee you're not price conscious. It's going to cost more.
Oh, yeah.
So if I could spend an extra $5 but know that all of that's going to go to this good stuff, I just think that would be a much better plan for him.
I agree.
Jerry, if you don't raise the money, maybe that's the way you could do it. I just thought that was kind of a neat thing. I've not done anything on Kickstarter in a long time. I've supported a couple of things on there. Lately, I haven't had any money. I should start my own Kickstarter.
Yeah. So I was going to say.
Haven't had the money to do that lately, but one of these days I'll go on there and do that too. So there you go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you joining us right here on the John and Heidi Show.